Hi, boys and girls. So today I just wanted to do a quick video of how to use some tools in Readworks. So your assignment on the apply slide today is called Sean the Speedy Snail. So if you click on that, you have a couple options of being able to really understand this text. And that is the first one is listening to the text while you're reading it. Please, I beg of you, do not just hit play and then sit there and daydream. You need to read it while it's reading to you. Okay, so that's really important because you want to make sure that you're looking at the text and you're comprehending the text and you're looking at how the text is being written, because that also will help you with your writing, with your narrative writing skills, and seeing that punctuation and that dialogue. The other tools that I wanted to go over with you, this is a Zoom tool, so you really shouldn't need that because this is already pretty big. But the really cool one that I've shown a couple students that seem to be helpful is yes, you can toggle back and forth between the questions and the passage, or you can click on this button right here that has looks like a book. And if you click on that, it actually puts the passage on one side and the questions on the other side. So whenever you go to answer your questions and you're looking for your evidence in the text, which everyone should be doing, then you are easily going back and forth to do that. So the next thing I wanted to show you is if you have, and I already kind of done this, and if you're watching the video, you have a one up on answering question number one here. So the other thing I want to show you is you can press this button right here. It looks like it's actually if your parents know it, but in my day it was called a paragraph symbol. And so it actually, if you click on it, it numbers the paragraphs for you, which is nice, mostly for like nonfiction text, to be honest, because then if it says like in paragraph number 4, what is the main idea? Blah, blah, blah. That's helpful. So then you know what paragraph they're talking about. But the other useful part of this right here is when you do things like highlighting evidence in the text. So, for example, this question says, why is Sean able to beat the other snails to the food and water? And then, as a good reader, I would stop and I would read all the possible answers. And then I'd go into the text and I would read until I found the evidence that tells me why he was able to beat the other snails. And that evidence is right here. It says, what made Sean so fast was that he was stronger than everyone else. So that goes with this answer right here. Sean is stronger and faster than the other snails. It's not written exactly the same, but it definitely is our evidence. You'll notice that whenever I did this, all I did was I highlighted it. So say I wanted to highlight this sentence right here. I highlight it like this. So you just drag your cursor. Oh, it's a little finicky. Apparently, you need to highlight and do this from the beginning of the sentence, maybe. All right, come on. Again, persevere and be a problem solver. So you go from the beginning of the sentence to the end, highlight it, then you can click on whatever color you want, pick your fancy. Then there's this little comment bubble, and you can actually use that to write about the text. So it says the others would complain and sigh, so depressed that they had such a weight to carry on their shoulders and back. So I might say, this means that the other snails felt like they had a harder life, and it wasn't fair that Sean was so fast, right? So that's just what I'm thinking. So I'm going to add that note. Doesn't necessarily answer a question, but it's really good to think deeply about the text. And I see all and any of the notes that you guys are taking. So those kind of help me see whether or not you're comprehending the text a little bit better. Then I'm going to move on to the next question. After I found my evidence, I chose my answer and I highlighted the evidence in the text. So when I go to look at your answers, I'm not just looking at whether you got the answer right. I'm also looking at your text and I'm looking to see if you went back in the text to find that right answer. If you're getting scores lower than 75%, that means you're probably not taking your time and going back in the text. So take your time, use these tools of highlighting and commenting. On this one, I believe for the comment, all I did was highlight it and then I commented and said that it was proof for question 1. So that's another thing. You can just simply put that, which question that text evidence goes with. So that's one thing. The last tool two more. This one is also really cool. You press this and it actually will put the volume next to the question and the answers. So you can have the question read to you
Why is Sean able to beat the other snails to the food and water?
And you can listen to the answers as well. Then you have this cool tool. It's called a line guide. And wherever you put the cursor is where it goes. So that way, if you like, you can read the text line by line. The only problem with it is if you jump around, it goes a little too fast. But it is useful. And it'll help you, those of you who maybe your fluency or the long reading passages like this are a little more challenging, this will be helpful for you. You just turn any of these off by just clicking them again. So you just turn it off by clicking it, turn the volume off by clicking it, turn the paragraph number off by clicking it. If you zoom in, I don't know why you would, it's already pretty big, but if you zoom in, you just keep clicking that same button and it'll go back to normal. And then if you don't want the questions next to the text and you want that text real big and you want to just toggle back and forth, you do that like so. So just a few tips and tricks I wanted to show you so that you are taking full advantage of the tools that you have available to you when you're doing your Readworks articles and your assignments. And thank you for listening all the way to the end of this video. And I